doing it. Come over here, bro. Might get deep. You're on the tinnies.
Yeah. Go grab one? I'll grab one.
I just made a video and posted it today, interviewing a guy, and anyway, we chatted about
I'm Tom, man. Nice to
Tom
meet
Rin.
you. How you going?
Lovely to meet you. Where are you from?
UK, North Yorkshire.
North Yorkshire.
Yeah.
I know the football, North Yorkshire. Who do you follow?
Newcastle United.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
My guy I'm staying with, he's a big Toon fan.
Oh yeah?
So yeah.
Is he from Newcastle?
No, he's from Melbourne. Lives in Sydney now, but no, loves. What's his name? Jason Tyndall. Always in the middle of every photo. He's the assistant manager of Newcastle.
Oh yeah, the guy with the black hair. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
just
class.
always in the photos, just taking the piss. So what brought you here?
Well, I came over in 2017 because my uncle lives in Lane Cove, and yeah, I just loved it. And then went to uni, and just was a bit bored. I was
Back to uni
I was in Newcastle for uni, and yeah, I was just a bit bored. Just wanted a bit of a change, and so came over to Sydney. Then went to Byron to do my regional work. Nice. And then went down to Melbourne for 6 months, which was sick. I love Melbourne. Yeah, Melbourne.
Did you hear that I'm from Melbourne?
Are you from Melbourne?
Yeah, I'm from Melbourne.
I mean, I prefer Melbourne to Sydney, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people like Sydney, but she prefers Sydney.
Is your girlfriend? Friend?
Friend.
I'll put you on the spot there. I mean, you're sitting in a park. It's an honest question.
We're figuring that one out.
Don't mean a friend zone is.
We're figuring that one out, aren't we, Bonnie?
Do we want to talk about that, or should we swerve?
Yeah, she's lovely. I love Bonnie.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, calm down. She's very nice. Yeah, I met her the last time I was in Sydney.
Yeah, beautiful. How did you two meet?
On Bumble.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
One girl I was just speaking to before said loves meeting friends on Bumble, but I know it's a dating app. Have you found dating apps in your time as a man?
Yeah. Not bad. I think they are kind of like idolised quite a lot. People go on there with different intentions, and I know a lot of people who have met their like partners on there and they're doing really well. Obviously, a lot of people want to use it for other things, like making friends. I think a lot of people don't see it like that. They go on these apps and just use it for dating.
Yeah.
But I think it is also a good way to meet friends as well. Definitely. I think on Bumble there is a thing where you can switch it to like
friends only.
Friends only. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Would I do that personally? Probably not.
Sure.
I don't really. Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, they're okay.
Yep, beautiful. So you're here in Sydney, prefer Melbourne, but Australia, are you planning to stay here for the rest of your life? Do you want to have a family here?
I would say I would like to give it a go. Yeah, I haven't fully made my mind up yet. I mean, I'm on my second year visa now. Nice. And then because they brought in the trade deal agreement, I'll get like a third year without having to do any regional work. So yeah, I'd like to give it a go. I'm not sure where I'll settle down yet. I've only been to Byron, Melbourne, and Sydney.
Okay.
Loved Melbourne.
Yeah.
I do love Sydney.
Yep.
Like, don't get me wrong, it's a sick city,
it
great
nice.
people,
Beautiful
great
weather today.
great views. Like you can't really beat this.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't come here enough, like down to like the Circular Quay and the Botanical Gardens.
It's funny when you live in a place, you don't so much go to the spots. So
exactly, yeah. I feel like a lot of people,
it.
if you're in Sydney, I kind of take it for granted now. But
Yeah.
come down here today, it's nice weather, chilling in the park. It's good.
Yeah, totally. What's the biggest cultural difference from back home in the UK and Australia that you've found?
The biggest cultural difference.
Yeah, or even something that you've struggled with, maybe.
I would say probably the pace of life, I think, and also just the attitude that people, like how they go about things. I think in Australia it is a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
I think people do just kind of like to chill out, and like when I've been working, I did construction before, doing labouring, and like sometimes it would just be like too hot or whatever, and they'd be like, yeah, like we're done, we're going home.
Yeah, really.
Which I kind of like, and I think that a lot of people in the UK are quite uptight and in their own little world. But what I like about Australia is also the fact that there's so many different people. Like the town that I'm from back home, really small town in rural North Yorkshire, like 10,000 people. And people, like, there's tourists in the summer, but it's mainly British tourists. But people like don't move there. Like, you wouldn't leave a city and go to where I'm from. It's a nice place. Whereas like when you're in Sydney or Melbourne, there's so many different people from all over the world, and it's just you can meet some really cool people.
Yeah, love that. Do you have a vision for what you want your life to be, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 30, 40 years time? Anything you're working towards?
Not particularly at the moment, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. I think some people are kind of quite set on what they want to do. I mean, I went to uni, I did history. Realistically, I don't think I'm going to do anything to do with history. It was a fun time, but I don't see myself going down that career path. I think I kind of want to get into, like, I did a bit of like logistics at my previous job, like kind of like freight forwarding and that sort of stuff. So I would quite like to explore that.
Yep.
But just like being happy, to be honest.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm very happy at the moment, and it's not always been easy in Australia. Like, there's been periods when I've been like super unhappy and kind of considering going home, but sometimes I look at what I've got here and I'm kind of like, well, you could be having this day back home and it would be 10 times worse.
Yeah.
I would
sure.
have people around me, don't get me wrong, but I think it's easier to have a bad day here and then wake up the next day and be walking to work, or come down here and you're like, yeah, it's not so bad. Like I'm in a
Yeah.
nice place.
The environment is a big thing. Hey, do you have a network of friends? Any family here? Like how is that side of life, social life?
Yeah, really good. So I don't feel like I struggle to make friends. Like when I first came back to Sydney this time, I went to Thailand for 3 weeks and then came back here, and I kind of struggled a bit. Like I met a few Irish guys. I knew Bonnie already from when I was here the last time. But slowly, like the place that I've started to work at, I made loads of good friends there.
Nice.
And I think it just took maybe 1-2 weeks, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
And then I've got my uncle in do you know Lane Cove?
Yeah.
Like near to Chatswood?
Yep.
Yeah, he lives there.
Yeah, beautiful.
So I've not. I need to go and see him. You know, I've not seen him like since I've been back in Sydney.
How long have you been back?
I've been back for just over a month.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Not too long, but yeah,
not
definitely,
too long.
definitely.
I mean,
worth a visit.
I've messaged him. He's super busy. Like he works for Harvey Norman. He's got like a really good job for them. So
Yeah.
he's super busy all the time. So it's fair enough. But yeah, I might try and go around and have a cheeky little roast dinner or something. It'll be quite nice.
Yeah, absolutely. What about family life back home? Do you have siblings, mum and dad?
Yeah. So
you
I've
keep
got
in touch with them?
yeah. So these flies are so annoying.
Yeah, I know.
So I've got one brother.
Yep.
And he's very different to me. He's quite settled at home. He's got his wife. He's got his 2 dogs. I think they're going to be like trying for a kid,
Yep.
which is fair enough. Like people's lives take different paths, and
Totally. Older or younger than you, your brother?
younger, 2 years no, older. Sorry, 2 years older.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's quite settled, whereas like I'm over here, kind of traveling around, still figuring it out, which is fine.
Yeah.
And then I've got my mum who lives back home, and then I've got my dad and my stepmom, and yeah, I've got loads of family, like kind of quite a nuclear family, I would say, just kind of like dad, mum, brother, like
Yeah.
cousins on each side.
What do you mean nuclear? What does that mean?
So I think a nuclear family is where it's like two children and then like a mum and a dad. My mum and dad aren't like together anymore.
Yeah.
But then I've got like an uncle and an auntie on my dad's side, 2 aunties on my mum's side,
So
and then
like
like
two.
yeah, and then 2 cousins on my mum's side, 2 cousins on my dad's side.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a nice family. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, nice. How old are you when your parents divorced?
I was 12, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now, how old are you?
24.
Yep.
Yeah. So
What was that like, that period of time? Because my parents got divorced, I think I was maybe like 4
okay,
or
wow.
5, yeah.
Yeah. It was it was tough. Like I mean, looking back on it now, it was definitely for the best. Like when I used to be upstairs, I heard them arguing a lot, and like I think they did try and hide it a bit from me and my brother, but I think that at the time I was like, why is this happening? Like, is it something that I've done or like my brother's done? And I was like really beaten up about it. So for maybe like a year afterwards, it was quite tough. But yeah, like as an adult looking back on it now, I'm like, things have worked out way better. Like
Yeah.
if they would have stayed together, it just wouldn't have been good.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
they were happy when they were together, but I think my dad worked away a lot, and I think his lifestyle was quite different to my mum's, and yeah, I think it just didn't work out between them. So
Yeah, sure. Do you feel like you approach relationships in a manner that takes into account divorce? Because I know I do.
Okay.
As a 31-year-old, I've
Okay.
been in a relationship now for a few months, but I've had relationships in the past where I've been, conscious of that.
Okay.
I don't have anything against people getting divorced, but I don't personally want to. Like I'd
Yeah.
rather go in and look to the future and build with that person. But how do you see it?
I think I see it the same as you. Like obviously it's worth keeping that in mind. Depends what stage of the relationship you're at as well. Like
Totally.
obviously if you are moving towards marriage, then. But I don't like to think that I would ever go into not even just like a marriage situation, but a relationship situation with the expectation that it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
Like I would always go into it thinking, like just think of the best outcomes.
Yeah.
Because if you go into like that sort of situation and you're thinking, maybe this won't work out, like planning for what will happen if it doesn't, then it's like that's not the right person for you. I think
Totally.
you should be going into it with a good intentions.
Be all in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's then a question for you. Do you date to marry? Or like what is your philosophy when it comes to dating? You've got Bonnie over here who's paying
Date-
a lot of attention.
Date to marry. Whoa. Obviously, yeah.
Well, it's sort of like a very not arbitrary, binary thing where you either break up or you get married, or you could not. You could just keep dating forever.
Fair, yeah. No, I don't think I think of situations like that. I think especially because of what I'm doing at the moment, like traveling around. I think I don't go into a relationships with the expectation, like with the idea that it's going to end.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I wouldn't go into it in thinking of like a marriage situation necessarily.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, not really, to be honest. Which I don't think is a bad thing. I think
no, for sure.
Yeah.
Love that, man. Last question. Any advice that you would like to give to your 12-year-old self if you could go back to that boy who was hearing parents fight through their divorce? What would you say?
Any advice? Good question. I would just say, don't take things too literally. Like, and also, there are going to be a lot of things in your life that are going to be out of your control, and when it does happen, it might be a little bit hard for a while. But I think that you've just got to think about all the positive things you've got in your life, and think of where you are. Like, there's people always a lot worse off than you. Like, obviously, what's going on in like the Middle East at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, I was having a bit of a crap day the other day, and I was walking to work, and I like kind of snapped myself out of it. I was like, no. I was like, I'm in a good place. Like, lots of nice friends. Sick city. Got a roof over my head. Food in my stomach. So yeah, I would just say don't take things too literally, and think of the good things you've got in your life.
Yeah, that's gratitude, man. That's
yeah,
good.
exactly. Yeah.
Love it. It was Tom,
So
right?
man, yeah. What's your name again?
Rin.
Rin.
Pleasure, bro.
Smashed
Thank
it.
you so much. How do you reckon he went? She only listened to the stuff when we were talking about relationships.